and follow these other runners if you can, Penguinpuff and Alucard. Also with us, we have Thieves streaming and Dude as our tracker tonight, and we're off to the races. And looks like both runners are starting off with a quick check at your house, and then doing the early parts of the escape palace with your uncle. Just check to see what's going on here. And early value, the uncle has the fire rod, which makes you wonder, maybe he just ran out of magic and couldn't do much there.
Well, usually the uncle does give you an item in a vanilla, but just a sword. Having the fire rod this early, very nice weapon to have if you have the magic. It's a very primary weapon to have.
Yep, and we see the save and quit for Penguin. Going to go ahead and head up to the sanctuary. We'll see what their next moves are. Both runners currently mirroring each other.
And we got a map check. Looks like you had two pendants down at you had a pendant at Eastern and a pendant down in Desert and Eastern. And I think Hera had a crystal 6, I think.
That'd be an important crystal. And of course, as we know, with this version 26 logic, pendant dungeons, you almost always have to find some sort of value there.
Ooh, nice 20 rupees from the tree pull, getting 80 quick rupees. That helps them get through Kakariko a little easier. And 20 more rupees from the crab.
Getting a lot of rupees early on. Normally we've seen it in vogue to get a lot of to do a hula hand room check just to be able to do everything in Kakariko, but so far not needing to do that. We're getting some early rupees here.
20 more rupees behind the lumberjack hut. So I don't think they're going to kill Aghanim unless they need to get to the east side of the Dark World.
Well, and with two pendants, it'd be interesting to see if they would have to. I'm going to do a quick woods check. Penguin going to get some more rupees here.
And yet again, another 20 rupees where the mushroom would usually be. They're not going to grab that if they have all the other 20 rupees from all the other spots so far.
Rupees. Of course, we do know that the 20 rupees is the most common item, so it's not terribly surprising to see all of that. But really, other than the fire rod, no other value that we've seen so far. We'll see what we can pull in Kakariko, though. Alucard making his way down. We'll see. Looks like he's going to bypass doing Blind's Hut first just to opt to get the bombs right away so he can loop everything together. Checking this quick chest to see if there's any bombs, just out of luck here.
Oh, but we found our first sword.
I am so happy to see it. My first few game calls, I felt like I was jinxing the runners because they didn't have a sword for like an hour into it.
Ooh, that's a rare value from the bottle vendor. Give him 100, you get 300.
Looks like he's printing fake rupees there for everyone.
wait, no. That was an authentic deal. He's ripped off so many people in this tournament already. Might as well, give someone 3 times the value one time or another.
And more money. My goodness, so much money here.
Yeah, what is this seed? We're getting all the good things happening. Well, the other thing we're missing really is progression items.
Well, and between fire rod and sword, there's things we can do. It's nice to see that we're not going to be weaponless, going through the early parts, and Alucard checking the well back here.
Yeah, well, 5 items to find. Always a great place to start off.
Ooh, there we have the mirror. So we have some value already here.
I mean, it's not immediate value. It's definitely a great item to have. The shield, not so much, but hey, it's a shield.
Still a lot of talk about the money, and yes, this has been the Jerry Maguire scene so far. Show me the money.
Oh man, what a reference.
About a Dirk, yes, shields are progressive, so you have to get the Fisher-Price shield before things start getting interesting. We've seen a lot of racers up. Ooh, and we have Power Glove. Gloves are also progressive. But we are seeing a lot of people who are opting to miss a shield early, and then that ends up biting them because they won't have Riot Shield by the time they get to the Laser Bridge in Turtle Rock. So interesting when you're forced to pick up an upgrade, and interesting to see people opting not to pick up a shield early.
Just as a general point, everything in the game that can be progressive is progressive, except for the boomerangs. The two boomerangs, the blue one and the red one, they are separate.
Yep, and that was done primarily because the red and blue boomerangs independently act different. There are some times that you would rather have a blue boomerang than a red one.
Just a heart container in the library, so they're not going to have to come back here after they find the boots.
Nope, and a first real route divergence. Alucard checking South Hyrule real quick, and the maze. Penguin going to take a look at the back end of Escape because they picked up the glove. Interesting route divergence.
And speaking of gloves, we found the Titan's Myth down in the back 3 chest of Escape.
As soon as we get Moon Pearl, we'll know that it's dark. That we'll have Dark World access then. That's interesting.
Not only Dark World access, but with the mirror, we can check a lot of the mirror spots as well.
Penguin now opting for the South Hyrule route, going to check the Dam Bridge and probably Mini Moldorm Cave as well. Oh, Penguinpuff pulling the hammer. That is the most required item in the game. More things are locked behind the hammer than anything. Again, another couple ways in the Dark World as soon as we get this Moon Pearl. What is this seed? We're having so much value unlocked early after the Jerry Maguire run. Thousand Sheep, yeah, it's interesting that the Moon Pearl isn't the biggest blocker, but they've run the analysis. Moon Pearl, there's still some things in the Dark World that you can get even without the Moon Pearl. They are incredibly annoying to get because you would have to walk around half the Dark World without being able to attack anything. But they've done the analysis, and Hammer is actually locking more items than anything, largely because of the dungeons that are involved. And Penguin also pulling the flute in Mini Moldorm Cave. Flute, of course, will give us access to Death Mountain. So we have the hammer and mirror with Death Mountain and the flute. We're still not locked behind any dark rooms yet, which is interesting. We're seeing Penguinpuff go up into Escape. Still looking through the Moon Pearl, of course. Alucard also going to save and quit. We'll see where he goes. Yep, Death Mountain, Checkerboard. We'll have a... Oh, Checkerboard would be a really interesting item to check because you can go ahead and get Checkerboard with the items they have right now. Yeah, anything that's blocked behind a glitch is not technically required for the logic. It's considered a logic skip. Death Mountain is accessible right now. Normally it's blocked behind Dark Room access, but with the flute, you can flute past the Old Man and go ahead and get started with that. So we'll know the Old Man won't have Lamp. It'll be interesting to see when they're able to do it, and if either of these runners are capable of doing Dark Rooms. I know at this level most people are, but it's always worth checking. and more money for Penguinpuff. Alucard, meanwhile, opting to go ahead and get the flute going so he can check Ice Rod Cave, which is normally pretty out of the way, but if you have the flute, it makes it a little bit less painful. Visual is asking in chat, why does Crystal 5 and 6 require to get the Big Bomb? The answer to that is because the Big Bomb in the vanilla game is not accessible until after you get Crystal 5 and 6. So the programmers of this game made it so that as soon as you get Crystals 5 and 6, it unlocks the Big Bomb, which makes them slightly of higher value. Oh, Red Cane! It's gotta be Cane! Shout out to Ryu, who just came back and did a commentary earlier. Red Cane in Ice Rod Cave. That'll be interesting. Alucard opting to do Dark Rooms right at the moment, but we have not seen a ton of value in Ice Rod Cave, and a lot of runners opt to hold off on that for a long while, so that could be big for Alucard here. Kryuji, yeah, I saw Ryu had done a run. Let me see. Penguin picking up his flute. Yeah, Ryu called a game at 3 Eastern on Speed Gaming 1. Alucard now opting to check the desert area. We've seen some runners also burned by Agina, where we've seen some value. It'll be interesting to see what we have here. Penguin now going the south route, going to check the maze. Yep, and you can get desert right now too. It's a pendant dungeon, but again, with this version 26 logic, pendant dungeons have a lot of value in them. Blu-ray, yep. Meekin's Cave. Meanwhile, both of our runners are going up to Death Mountain. Penguin opting to go ahead and do the Dark Room to get the Old Man. Alucard skipping that for now. Again, it's technically a sequence break if you're going and doing any Dark Rooms without the lamp. Yeah, and it's entirely possible that Alucard forgot he had the mitts. There could be a lot of value there. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Alucard did it already. He did the Old Man already. Ooh, the bow on Spectacle Rock, and he's going to get it right now.
That's a high-value item there. I'll be able to unlock quite a bit there.
Ah, super money music. Enjoy it while you can, guys.
Early bow. We're in bow mode.
And we're going to delve into Tower of Hera. We know that it's a crystal, and I believe it's crystal 6, so it makes a lot of sense to do it now.
Might as well. You already have the hammer. Most people are well practiced in hammer strats for Trolldorm here. And he picks up the key early. So, and the Moon Pearl!
Vanilla Moon Pearl? Jeez.
Vanilla-ish Moon Pearl. And Penguin accidentally talking to the Puff. That's unfortunate.
Penguin might be a cross-product fan.
Ooh. So, good run so far.
Yeah, very fast seed. We're still missing a few items, however, obviously. But now we can go into the Dark World as soon as we're done with Tower of Hera.
It'll be interesting to see that map check to see exactly what will and won't be required. Although Fire Rod and Kane have already been found. If Turtle Rock is required, then it's all you really need for that is the Ice Rod. We could see an early Turtle Rock dive, relatively speaking.
So Alucard found a bomb upgrade, so that's both items to Hera, so we don't have to go into the basement, which is good news for these guys.
New Life 88 calling Vanilla Boots. That's, you know what? That wouldn't be the worst. The worst would be Boots in Ganon's Tower, big key on the torch.
Which we've seen already.
We have seen. It's amazing the different combinations we've seen in this tournament so far. Everyone's nightmare run has already happened, I promise.
If you think of the worst case scenario, it's probably happened already. I think the only thing we're missing is Moon Pearl on pedestal.
That would just be torturous. That would require all 3 pendants in the light world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, which I've seen that earlier before. But it wasn't a Moon Pearl suit. It wasn't a Moon Pearl on pedestal suit, though.
In the meantime, Alucard is going to go ahead and check the east side of Death Mountain because he does have the hammer, which is generally a good idea. Just a green rupee up on Floating Island.
And we're about to enter Resident Sleeper Cave, also known as Spiral Cave without the boots. So, Chad, get your Resident Sleepers in there.
Fetch chain starting on Pet at the worst. Yep. We had, let me see, what did they call it? The Flute Scooper earlier, which was hard. Penguinpuff opting to go ahead and open T-Rock while he's here, so we're going to get a T-Rock check to see what pendant will be required.
Well, he can open it. Well, he can't open it. He can check what it is. We have no medallions. There's no possible way of going into Turtle Rock with 5 hearts.
And Quake will be there, so it'll be interesting to see where Quake comes up. Alucard doing Dark World, and our map check. 5 is Eastern. The green pendant is Thieves.
That's usually a good sign, because most players, even when it's a pendant, they want to do Thieves, because it's the easiest dungeon to complete in the Dark World. It's Pod, not Eastern, Vitasia.
Pod East. My apologies.
Get your Light World, Dark World back on the right track.
I'm just still confused because we're already in Dark World with 1 dungeon done, with so many items already gotten at 18 minutes into this seed. This seed has been just fantastic in how quick it's been done.
Alucard taking out Paradox Cave at the moment, while Penguinpuff goes into Spiral Cave himself. Ooh, we got the Ice Rod and Quake.
And Quake.
Wait, we can finish Turtle Rock now.
Yeah, we can do a green mail 6-heart Turtle Rock. What do you say,
Fighter
chat?
Sword. Don't forget Fighter Sword.
And Fighter Sword. Okay, we have Fighter Sword. $20-minute Turtle Rock. Absolutely. I think, if our runners could see chat, they would answer the demand. I don't know if they're going to do that early check, though.
I'm at this rate, though, you never know. It could be the right play.
Could be. Let's see. For Go mode, officially, we are missing flippers. We might be missing boots. Officially missing lamp.
There's a lot of items that are maybes, like the boots are a maybe. Bombos and Ether are maybes. Hookshot, yeah, they need Hookshot.
Yeah, the only ones we know for a fact that they need are flippers and Hookshot. And lamp. So, but we've gotten so much value so far. Who knows?
I don't think these players are going to need lamp, even though it will be in the logic.
Oh, and a 2nd level sword officially for Go mode. But because there are 3 sword upgrades as you go, oftentimes it's one of those items where you'll go ahead and do it.
I think Alucard, I think he's doing it. He's going to go into Turtle Rock, maybe.
What is this, ladies and gentlemen? A 6-heart green mail just at the 20-minute mark, going into T-Rock. You wanted it. You got it.
Penguin can't do the Turtle Rock play because he didn't go to Ice Rod Cave to get the Can of Samaria yet. But this is insane. Alucard going into Turtle Rock 20 minutes into the seed.
And I don't necessarily blame him for making this call. If you realize that you have all the items to go into Turtle Rock that has so many chests and items there. Oh, he's just opening it. You troll, Alucard. Make sure to. I'm going to ask him about this in the interview.
However, another play you could make is the Misery Mire play.
Meanwhile, Penguinpuff is going to be doing Hype Cave, or
as I like to call it, the Cave of Mediocrity.
I'm with you on that. This tournament has not seen a ton of value out of this so far.
Silver arrows. Flippers. Okay, it's not mediocre. It's actually hype in this scenario. We got a required item and we got the silver arrows.
Hey, and we have Ether pulled in the shed by Alucard, so Hype Cave actually living up to its name. I'll take it. I am just absolutely amazed at this jet seat, how close we are to go mode. And we haven't really delved into a ton of dungeons yet. Version 26 has been known as kind of the dungeon run, where all the value is found in the dungeons and not as much in the overworld, but we know where all the required items are except for effectively hookshot, maybe boots, and technically lamp, and a second sword. But swords are going to be there. I have every confidence they'll find a sword early.
Ether was in Mire Shed, yes.
Alucard, meanwhile, going to check out Desert, which, since he can do and kind of loop this in with the Mire check, it's a good idea.
We're going to see if boots are actually required for the seed. And they are. Big key on the torch. So boots are required.
Buckshot Boo, the cane was actually in Ice Rod Cave. So this is why at the moment I'm considering Alucard to be in the lead, so to speak, because Penguin has not gone down and checked Ice Rod Cave. Some runners...
Actually, I was staying corrected because the Desert Palace is a pendant dungeon, so boots still might not be required.
You kill the hype here, Rambler.
Hey, it could still be the big key on the Ganon torch, and maybe the hookshot's hidden behind a bonk rocks.
Oh, that would be mean, but I think our runners are used to being trolled at least a little bit. Penguin, in the meantime, diving into Pod.
Well, if he knows his dark rooms, he can complete it. He has the bow and the hammer.
Fighter Sword in Pod is not fun. I mean, once you get to the Dark World, nothing in Fighter Sword is fun, though. Alucard, meanwhile, looking like he's going to check Hype Cave here, see what he can find.
Well, we know what he's going to find. He's going to find the silver arrows and the flippers.
Well, yes, we know, but he doesn't know.
And the Palace of Keys living up to its name, as I think Penguin's found about 4 small keys already.
Yes, I've heard Pod referred to as the Mullet Dungeon. Business in the front, party in the back.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, just because the way the logic ends up playing out, you end up getting a ton of seeds early relative, and all the fun stuff is in the back.
You're reaching now.
Fair enough. Yep, Swamp is in play with, well, at least the first part of Swamp is in play. There's a lot of value that can be had in Swamp. It's a crystal dungeon, and the problem is you don't have the hookshot, so a lot of players will hesitate. You never know. It might be one of those seeds that hookshots in a vanilla spot. Old Stumpy with the heart piece.
And I think he's going to go down and use his mirror to check out the Haunted Grove Ledge.
Yep, the South Hyrule route generally is routed together, has some value here, and gonna go ahead and pick up the bombs. Interesting.
He only had 8, so decided to do it. And interesting, Penguinpuff's going to do the back of. He's going to finish Pod before getting the rest of the items from it.
Was Pod the other Dungeon 6?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so I mean, one of the reasons that he's probably going and risking a double dip is early access to double-chested fairy. Alucard doing the digging game, meanwhile. Interesting. Those are going to be some rough dark rooms there. We'll see if he's practiced the dark rooms getting through, especially that turtle room.
Well, he has the fire rod, so he can light the torches. And all those digs just to get bombs. Ugh.
That'd be rough. That's just a little bit difficult.
He goes back and grabs him, and he's going to go do the race game now, it looks like.
And just missing slightly.
Penguinpuff does go light the torch. So Alucard is doing this because he knows it's a full heart container. He only has 6, so if he wants to just get a little extra safety, which I don't blame him for this.
No, especially if you think that you're being routed into an early turtle rock, getting some extra hearts wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
Penguinpuff going towards the boss room here at Pod. There's Helmasaur.
Here's Helmasaur. Very nicely done getting through those rooms. Alucard going up. Maybe he's going to grab Jeremiah here.
Your old buddy Jeremiah. I heard he's a bullfrog.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine.
Silver Arrow's kind of unfair to take on Helmasaur King.
Silver Arrows Helmasaur at sub 30. Head Cave not able to be accessed quite as quick simply because of not having boots. It's fun.
And all that just to get 5 rupees.
Yep, we'll see what Jeremiah ends up giving his friend that rescues him.
We're going to go back into Pod. He's going to go take care of the back end of it, which you would call the party part.
It's the best part of Mullet Dungeon. Just some... They're not blacksmiths today, they're Fletchers. They've given an arrow upgrade. Well, hookshot is go mode for Alucard, but it's not necessarily go mode for Penguin because he's still got to figure out where to check Ice Rod Cave. Now, this is one of those interesting things. When you have so much value early, you think that maybe Kane could be hidden anywhere else because so many other things are unlocked. So he's probably putting off Ice Cave because he presumes there's no value there because of everything else he could possibly get to. Tough to blame him for that call, but we've got to see when he'll eventually get there.
Alucard doesn't need... He needs more than hookshot. He also needs the a sword upgrade, and the other items could still be necessary, the boots.
Yeah, they could. Did we see what opening Meyer...
I missed it. It looks like that our tracker did not, and that it is Ether.
Oh, okay, and it was in
Meyer's set, so it was perfect placement for it.
Alucard looks like he's doing the traditional route, gonna check Thieves Town.
I've been doing the last dark room in Pod, the maze room. Up there's your sword upgrade from Alucard in the chess game.
The timeless relic of all time, the Master Sword, hidden in a treasure chest game. There we go.
Welcome to Randomizer, folks.
trying to pay attention to Penguin to see if he picks up something of value while Alucard moves his way through Thieves Town.
There's still a lot of overall places and dungeons they can check now with what they have.
This is where it gets to the interesting point in any sort of seed where you have so much value that you could possibly find. There's so many places that you can check, and you're only missing 1 or 2 items. It can drive you a little bit mad trying to figure out where you have and haven't checked, but still, both of these racers have lots of places to check at 30 minutes. So close to go mode already.
If we one of those situations where you're 30 minutes in, you only need 1 item for go mode, then an hour and 30 minutes in, you're still 1 item away from go mode.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit that's happened. We have Alucard checking Skullwoods, and as the meme goes so far, version 26 means check Skullwoods. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, Skullwoods has been paying off very nicely in V26 and in this tournament. Usually you find at least 1 good item in here.
Yep, there's only 2 items that are available, but we've seen a lot of value just because of the mix of how it unlocks.
There's one of the items. Unfortunately, it's only a heart container.
We've seen Alucard pick up quite a few heart containers, so where he's not running the risk quite as much as he'd had earlier of having a rough go at T-Rock.
And interesting, with the open of the seed, we still haven't checked Sahasra's back room yet, so Penguinpuff's going to do that now.
And that's what we mean by having so much value that's still spread out there. They've unlocked so many things, big key for Alucard, that you never know where the value could be. So it'll be a while, I predict, until Penguinpuff ends up checking that Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, because that's only 1 item and it's pretty far out of the way, so he might not go back there for a long time, and we already know that the King of Samari is hiding in there, and that'll open up a lot of places for him, especially Meyer and Turtle Rock. But now it looks like Penguinpuff, he has his 5 and 6. He's going to go probably open up the fairy cave on the pyramid.
Yep, we'll see. Looks like he's headed that way. The only dungeons that he's done are 5 and 6, so we're getting an early double-chested fairy. It'll be real interesting to see exactly how far. Alucard's still making his way through Skullwoods. Well, he's got Master Sword so far and Fire Rod, so he can definitely complete Skullwoods while he's here. And can't check Ped. That is unfortunate.
Not yet. I need the book to check the pedestal.
I think at this point, though, our runners are fairly confident it's not going to be a pedestal seed with what they still need.
Yeah, even though the pendants are 3 to 4 easy dungeons to complete, quote unquote. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be a pedestal seed, though. You never know. Hookshot could possibly be in there.
Hookshot could be there. That would be Trolley. Penguin.
Or one of the fetch quest items, at least a hookshot.
Alucard not having double magic, so he's saving his magic and using silver arrows to go ahead and take out those Giddos.
Silver arrows also take this amount in 1 hit, just like Fire Rod would.
And of course, I missed what chat is dubbing the thick fairy. Fairy was a bust.
Double chance of fairy was 50 rupees and a piece of heart. I caught it.
Thank you for that.
That's why I'm here.
Penguin, meanwhile, looks like he's making his way up to Catfish. We'll probably loop in Zora along with this, while Alucard fights Mothula.
Yeah, having the mirror saves a lot of time making the routing the Penguinpuff's making, because you can check 5 unique items up here.
Makes it almost as valuable as any dungeon with all the item checks that you can do.
And we have a tempered sword from Mothula.
What is this seed? Oh, Fire Jade with the pun. She's the double-chested fairy. Of course she's a bust.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Wah, 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 wah.
The middle medallion that Alucard has, the Ether, that was in Meyer's shed.
And since it's required to get into Meyer, that's a fine.
But I mean, Penguinpuff will find it eventually because he's going to check there soon. Well, I don't know about soon, but he will check there in this race sometime.
Yep. These runners are... It's tough to say that they're neck and neck because they've gone in so many different directions, but that Ice Rod Cave check is going to make all the difference as we play out. There's going to come a point where Penguin isn't able to do some of these dungeons until he gets that. Alucard saving some time here and there with that Cane of Samaria, while Penguin is checking Zora.
And we get a life lesson of taking 480 of your rupees away.
This is a lesson for all of you kiddos. Remember, don't go out of your way to see a shady merchant that's in the back alley of a sewer.
Especially talking fish. I really don't trust them. And just as I was talking about it, Penguinpuff does go to Meyer to check out what's over here, so he'll get his Ether medallion. So we're 37 minutes in. Both these runners checking places the other one's already been. So I'll ask a question in chat. So the only item we're missing that's needed for the seed is the hookshot. Where do you think hookshot will be? Be as trolly or as generous as you may be. I will say that it cannot be in Ganon's Tower because you need the hookshot to beat Swamp Palace. So the hookshot cannot be in Ganon's Tower. But it can be in any of the other dungeons.
Meanwhile, we see the runners just kind of running over each other's shoes right now. Alucard going to try his hand at Pod. For that, remember, completing Pod right now is technically a sequence break because he doesn't have the lamp. So we know for a fact that lamp couldn't have been on Double-Chested Fairy, for example.
Yeah, well, I don't think these runners are going to be needing the lamp, even though they probably want it just to make life easier, but they can complete the seed without the lamp, I think, both these runners.
Boots might be blocking hookshot into Meyer. It's possible.
Yeah, you need either the boots or the hookshot just to get into Meyer. So, if hookshot's in Meyer, you need the boots. Penguin probably gonna go do his own Village of Outcast check.
And there's still so many places that both of these runners can check because it's still so early. We can't say that anyone's really that far behind because of everything. Penguinpuff, meanwhile, picking up his Master Sword. While we'll see if he ends up going... Oh, he might be doing a Thieves Town dive, which we did not see Alucard do.
Yeah, it's a green pendant, so it's not necessary, but Thieves Town usually pays off pretty well in 326, even when it is a pendant.
Well, and as we've seen repeatedly in this V26 logic, pendant dungeons just feel like they always have value in them for one reason or another. That might be confirmation bias, but I've seen it in race after race after race in this tournament so far. And we have a fetch quest item with a mushroom.
Interesting.
Anon, Kane was in Ice Rod Cave, so we know that Penguin hasn't checked that yet. We're kind of watching to see when he goes that direction.
As we say goodbye to Alucard as he does his dark room, the basement of Pod.
DM Stewart trying to tempt me, and I'm going to take the bait, singing.
No, don't do it.
You want to build a fetch quest?
No. Just let it go, bro. Just let it go.
While we see these two runners making their way through, let's another shout out to both Penguinpuff and Alucard2004. Please give them a like, give them a follow here on Twitch. Also, our wonderful Feasel, who is restreaming, and our tracker. I'm looking that up.
All right, I'm just glad someone in chat. I'm just glad someone in chat got the "Let It Go" reference.
I'm happy to.
I want you guys to have nice things. It's just that singing. We usually reserve that for who's the one that does the singing usually? DT.
Yeah, I'm a DT impersonator, a Ryu impersonator. I steal all the memes from you guys and give them back.
So you're the Frank Caliendo of Link to the Past randomizer commentary.
You know, if that's the highest I can reach, I'll go ahead and take it.
Vitasia, ladies and gentlemen, striving to be Frank Caliendo. Well,
meanwhile, Penguin's working his way through Thieves Town. Alucard showing the value there, or lack thereof.
Yeah, Pod did not have much.
Alucard mirroring out. I'm going to take a look and see what we have. Penguinpuff on his way down to see Blind in his pretty form.
He's going to go save the princess. Isn't that the goal of the game?
It's to save all the princesses.
Even the ones that turn into evil bosses that make bad puns.
Yeah, it's not always bad puns. Sometimes he gives us a shout out about how important breakfast is in the day.
No, that's Ganon.
Oh, right. Knackers, the Mire token is Ether that's in the Mire shed, so we actually have both everything we need to open up both those dungeons.
Yeah, Bombo's 100% not required, not even to enter Ice Palace, because we have the fire rod already. Ooh, we find blue mail with the princess in Thieves Town.
Green male T-Rock dead.
Hashtag banana hat.
Got his new threads for his blind date.
All right, that was a good one. I'll give you that one.
Oh, I completely. I'm taking the blind date from someone from Fire Jaden. I credit Fire Jaden for that, and I just ran with it.
See what I mean with bad puns? He did the pizza pun.
Hey, pun is high society jokes as far as I'm concerned. Sarah Zelda, the 3 pendant dungeons are Eastern, Desert, and Thieves Town. And Thieves Town is the green pendant.
So Penguinpuff acquires his green pendant, so maybe we have a Sahasrahla required seed. I just want to point out, Penguinpuff did a really good job healing blind using the laser beams from the Master Sword, which you don't see that too often.
No, most people practice keeping close to that because the further away from them you get, the more dangerous some of those fireballs end up getting because you lose track of where it's going. Meanwhile, Alucard is taking on Helmasaur at the moment, going to pick up his crystal number 6. looks like Penguinpuff might be heading up to following V26 logic. Always check Skullwoods, but we didn't find a lot of value up there, did we?
No, I don't think so. I remember seeing one item, and it was like something irrelevant.
Can boots be in pedestal? Let's see. No, it can't.
No, it can't. No, you're right, it can't. Because the Desert Palace, the big key was on the torch. So you need the boots to complete Desert Palace.
It is possible for hookshot to be on pedestal at this point, though. So we still have pedestal hype going.
You can also have the powder or the book that leads to the hookshot on the pedestal. Because we want things to be really evil.
Yes, we watch the seeds because we hope the runners get the seeds that we never want to play when we're playing random.
Precisely.
Neither runner has checked Eastern yet, have they? Buckshot. I haven't seen either runner check Eastern. I know both runners have been over there for Pod because that's cleared for both of them, but you're right. I don't think I've seen any of them check Eastern yet.
Neither one dipped into Eastern at all.
Yep, Alucard is doing escape right now. That's how fast this seed was early on. Alucard still hasn't had the opportunity to check escape. They just had so much value early. There was no reason for it.
Yeah, when you get basically early Dark World access, you forego everything else in the Light World and just do things in Dark World. Sometimes you'll forget some things.
Nice shot by Penguinpuff there, conserving magic and getting the 2-for-1 lamp. I've seen some runners do that, not a lot though, so a lot of runners aren't quite hip to that strategy yet.
And just when Alucard thought he had too much money, he finds 300 more. He's over 1,500 rupees, which is more than enough to play 5 seeds at this point.
Nope, no hobo check. There's been a lot of things that we haven't checked yet in the Light World Overworld, simply because they found the value so early. They went in separate directions. That's particularly worrisome for Penguinpuff, not having checked the Ice Rod Cave, which contains the cane. Speaking of Penguin, hammer stratting Mothula is not easy, but he makes it look easy.
Yeah, that was very clean. I'm very impressed with that hammer Mothula. So Alucard going to do more Dark Rooms here, as he does the sewers of Hyrule Castle.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see, because I always like kind of running through the logic and knowing, okay, where is the lamp and where does it expect you to go to get the lamp? Even though all of these things all of these runners can do lampless and dark rooms, the logic dictates that there are something that you should not be able to do dark rooms without lamp. So oftentimes we'll see quite a bit of running around to see where exactly the key items are, and I lost where I was going with that comment.
Me too. But he found a piece of heart in that chest, so nothing relevant. He's going to flute on out. Yes, mail is also progressive. Everything is progressive except the boomerangs, which is why you see both boomerangs in the tracker.
Alucard climbing Death Mountain, which is interesting because he already cleared out both Light and Dark World Death Mountain. Is it possible we're getting a Turtle Rock dive?
He looks like he's thinking. He took the flute out. Maybe he's changing his mind. I don't know what he's doing right now.
Alucard, the chat demands it. Do Turtle Rock.
He's gonna do Spike Cave, I think, but without the Cane of Burner or the Magic Cape, I don't know if he'll be able to get it done in time.
And no bottles. Interesting. We haven't had a bottle yet. So we haven't been able to check Sick Kid.
All 4 bottles in random room.
Oh, right. Alucard tried for the hookshot route without hookshot.
Ah, that makes sense.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do the Turtle Rock check. He's gonna appease the chat, it looks like.
Alucard2004. If he's actually listening to chat, we have to DQ him. But that's beside the point.
However, get your PogChamps ready. We're doing a sub-hour Turtle Rock check.
Green Mail T-Rock. Let the hype begin.
Did you see what was on Bumper Cable Edge there?
I think it was just rupees.
No, it was a delicious Code Red Mountain Dew.
Oh, that might be interesting.
Or if you're Mr. Barry Bonds, Red Gatorade.
I prefer the Code Red, and I'm still plugging. Come on, PepsiCo, give us a call.
That's the only reason why I said Code Red first, because of you.
I appreciate it.
Even though Baja Blast is strictly better. Chad, you're with me on this one, right?
Oh, everyone agrees. Baja Blast is strictly better. Objectively so.
Oh, no! The run is invalidated. Penguinpuff found a single arrow hiding in the graveyard ledge, and he didn't pick it up.
Oh, Penguin. Shame on you.
That's Penguinpuff.
Is he?
He's
going. Yes.
He's going to get himself a Cane of Samaria.
Alucard, meanwhile, having to do the long way to get these. Oh, this is rough.
This isn't the long way. This is the way the game intended you to do it.
Also known as the long way.
I mean, yeah. And oh man, not only does he have green mail, but he doesn't have the Cane of Burner or the cape. So, or hookshot. All right,
lamp.
Which one of you warlocks in chat called Lamp in Turtle Rock?
Wow, Lamp in T-Rock. That's incredible. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff picking up his cane. He's not really behind because there's been so much value that you've had to pick up elsewhere. So these runners are effectively tied. Meanwhile, Alucard going through Turtle Rock. If you're Penguin, do you think you're behind because you see that cane that's in Ice Rod and you're just maybe making some more risky plays?
So interesting enough, Penguinpuff went to Mire. I think he wanted to go into Mire, then he realized without the hookshot or the boots, he can't get into Mire. So now I think he's going to make the Turtle Rock play himself.
Double early Turtle Rock. Penguin with blue mail. Alucard somehow with more hearts. I'm hyped for this.
No, the Mire, it's too long to bomb jump. You could hover it if you're good, but again, it doesn't make sense because you need the boots anyway, and the boots you can just bonk into it.
Yep, you can typically only really do, 4 squares for bomb jump, and that is 4 squares long, so since you have to get 4 squares over, it's just a bit too long.
It's just a tad too long to bomb jump.
Now, an interesting thing to say, in this logic, the first treasure chest in Hookshot Cave is not locked behind the hookshot because you can bonk over to it. So it's possible that the hookshot is actually in that part of the Hookshot Cave once we get the boots.
Yeah, it couldn't be the very first chest, but that's the only chest in there that hookshot could be in. So very interesting. We're only 54 minutes in, but both players delving into Turtle Rock.
And we're seeing this increasingly with this logic as we go on. Alucard making his way through. But so many more players are doing the early Turtle Rock dive. Equating anymore, it's nice if you can do Turtle Rock and go right over to Ganon's Tower, but anymore, people delaying that too much is just like delaying doing Eastern until you can route Eastern and Pod together. Sometimes it just doesn't make logical sense. So we're seeing more players route Turtle Rock in together, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, especially when you can complete it. So because it's completable what they have, it makes sense for them to come in here, finish it. They don't have to worry about it anymore, and they can actually get a crystal out of here and not have to double dip it.
Yeah, double dipping Turtle Rock is painful as all heck. But if you have everything to do it, as both players do, might as well get it out of the way, not have to come back up here.
Penguinpuff, again, he thought he had the hook shot, but he doesn't, so he has to take the long way. Yeah, Penguinpuff did not turn in the green pendant yet.
Nope. Technically, these two runners are tied 3 crystals apiece. They have Penguinpuff about to pick up his lamp, so the items are effectively tied. The only difference, Penguin does have Thieves Town already done. Nothing of value there, but it's the green pendant. So if Sahasrahla, if we're seeing, for example, Vanilla Boots, Penguinpuff will have the lead there.
Yeah, where Penguinpuff did Thieves Town, Alucard did more overworld spots. So Alucard has 12 hearts to Penguinpuff's 10. So that's the difference there.
Fisher Price Shield Laser Bridge. This is going to be fun. I always like seeing this.
This is another sequence break because they do not have Mirror Shield or Cane of Burna or the Cape, which the logic says you should have one of those 3 items to beat this room.
I actually didn't know that. I thought you would be able to do it normally anyway.
Yeah, that was something new to add to the logic, I think, in either 24 or 25.
Yep, Alucard making the smart play, I would say, especially when you have Green Mail about to go through this with only 5 hearts.
Yeah, and he takes the death right away because those things do a ton of damage with Green Mail.
Yeah, 4 hearts for the hit, 1 heart for the laser, so it only took 1. I'm definitely perfectly happy with this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And he eats a laser right to the chest there.
Blue Mail isn't that much better with the laser, so Penguin might also struggle with that as well. We'll see.
Blue Mail, you take only 2 hearts from the lasers. Only 2.
How does that feel? You die twice to get a treasure chest, and it's the compass.
Ooh, he did good there, but got 10 arrows for it.
We'll be sure to ask Alucard, because I'm not going to say he's struggling, because Laser Bridge, Green Mail is rough, no matter who you are. But he is spending a lot of time on this laser bridge, hoping for the value.
No, actually, he needs a key just to get to the last room. The key's gonna be this.
Oh, okay.
But there was nothing of value in the other chest anyway.
Yeah, other than Lamp, we haven't seen a whole lot of value in T-Rock, have we?
No, not at all. So the early Turtle Rock play not really panning out as well as they hoped for.
I mean, it was probably technically required for before they did, for example, Pod, because of the dark room. So the logic expects them to be able to go through here.
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's necessarily paying off for these particular runners, though.
Well, Trinex does have an item because Alucard has the map and the compass.
Without half magic, you got to be very conservative. Make sure you get your slashes in. Thankfully, he has Tempered Sword, so it goes a little bit faster.
Yeah, Tempered Sword makes this fight a lot easier, although it's still a little tough.
Making quick work of the ice and fire heads. Meanwhile, Penguin is making his way through. Can't bonk these doors open because we're still without the boots. We're in a bootless seed right now at the 1 hour mark.
Nice clean Trinex kill by Alucard.
just a piece of heart. So other than Lamp, not a whole lot out of the early Turtle Rock dive, but both of these competitors going through, so it's not necessarily going to hurt or help either one. It's one of those risk plays that sometimes you end up making. And Penguin getting turned around a little bit in the dark room.
I think he forgot to open the door or press the button twice or something, so we want to make sure he went back. I think Alucard is going to make the play to... He's going to check the Hobo and maybe delve into Ice Palace. Or just doing... Oh, he didn't do Zora yet.
Yeah, Alucard hasn't done Zora. Not a whole lot of value. He's going to get robbed here directly, but with 5... Well, I guess he can only get... He can't get Catfish this way, but still plenty of value that's up here that he can check.
But he's not going to get the value he wants, however.
Nope.
Penguin doing a better job with the laser bridge room. He's getting by pretty cleanly.
Yep, it's clean so far, and he's already got the key, so he could theoretically skip, but with both the hookshot and the boots still an item on the table for them to need, it'll
Very
be interesting.
impressive.
Yeah. Well done, Penguin.
Didn't take a single damage from the lasers.
Yep, that's a lot of time made up. It's hard to say made up, but a lot of time saved that Alucard ended up wasting.
Yeah, definitely. As Alucard gets his life lesson from Zora.
So chat right now, I know everyone's rooting for a pedestal seed, which I don't necessarily blame you, but where do we legitimately think the boots and the hookshot are?
Yeah, I posed that question earlier, and I think most people are saying they thought Turtle Rock, but that's out of the question now. So everybody's even saying Pedestal or Ice Palace. Now remember, logically, I think there's some scenario where the hookshot is logically tied into Ice Palace. Like you need it to get to some of the chests.
Yeah, because of that hookshot across, I think, kind of deep in that part. But with Fire Rod, this makes sense to be able to get in here. So everything is locked behind Fire Rod in order to get in. Either Fire Rod or Bombos, and we haven't seen Bombos yet.
Yeah, Fire Rod makes this dungeon a lot easier also, because some of the enemies just go down in one hit to the Fire Rod.
Oh, we're seeing Vanilla Hookshot. Yep. And Penguinpuff does have the mushroom that we haven't seen Alucard pick up. So it would be, I'm not going to call it funny, but it would be interesting. It would definitely put Penguin in the lead if drugs ended up leading to Hookshot.
And Puff is going to Ice Palace himself. Both of them, I think, foregoed. They didn't check Hobo at all.
People ask, can tablets have boot? Absolutely, they can have boot.
Yeah, we can easily see something like Book on Pedestal leading to Boots at Bombos Tablet, leading to Hookshot at Bonk Rocks, something like that. Just get as trolly as possible. Oh no, we can't. I keep on forgetting that you can't have Boots are not pendant locked at all. But Hookshot can be.
Alucard making his way, getting ready for the bomb jump. Interesting. We've seen players take different strategies with this, whether or not they're using the bomb jump or not. It's when you have to full clear it.
Yeah, but I think these guys, they're more comfortable with bomb jumps than some of the other players are. Like, if you're not comfortable with the bomb jump at this situation, if you need to full clear ice and you have Cancel Maria, you don't necessarily need to do the bomb jump. Alucard not having the hook shot, so he can't easily get across here, so he has to take his time and not get hit by the fire bar.
That's unfortunate. That's more time wasted, and with as close as these two runners are, every second counts at this point in time. Nate, are boots required? We don't know if boots are going to be required yet or not, technically. We know that boots are going to be required if you need to get into Desert Palace. So if hookshot, for example, is on Clan Mullis, they would be considered required.
If the boots are blocking the hookshot, or if the 1 in 22 chance that it's on the torch comes through, those are the ways the boots are required for the seed.
Yep, Signal points out it has been about 30 minutes, and we pointed this out in the seed early on, where oftentimes we'll get a lot of progression items early, and we'll see a lot of route divergence, which is incredibly exciting for us as observers and watchers of both of these runners. But it all comes down to where's that last item.
Yeah, just because we were one item away from go mode 30 minutes ago, and now it's 30 minutes later, and we're still looking for that one item. That's just how this game works sometimes.
Which I love, personally. I love being able to see the route divergences and the excitement that you get from seeing where different people are going, what choices they end up making based on the items they have.
Speaking of fetch quests, we find a magic powder in the last room in Ice Palace.
The powder. I don't have the Boston accent, so I can't do powder quite as much as everyone.
Powder. Where the rest of America calls them base pants, they call them car keys.
Ooh.
Car keys. Khakis. Pack the car.
Yep, all the R's from Boston to pack the car just migrated south to wash the truck. Meanwhile,
and how their town names are like they read out Worcester, but it's actually Worcester.
Meanwhile, both of these competitors getting through. Alucard just a little bit ahead and deciding doesn't know which way he wants to go. The indecision, back and forth.
I think this way is the faster way because you get one more small key from this room and go left, right to. You still could check the. I think he still needs to check the big chest. He just found the big key.
Yeah, and usually you can check the big chest going this route, except you don't have hookshot, so you can't use the hookshot glitch. Meanwhile, Penguin's going to go ahead and kill Cold Stare.
He's going to kill Cold Stare, then check the rest of the dungeon, which I don't mind this play because you're already down here. Instead of going back up and going through and around again, you just go down, kill Cold Stare, and come back later.
Worcestershire law. I like that.
Alucard needing to get more magic to be able to defrost Cold Stare.
Penguin getting one of the three down, letting him run loose a little bit, unfortunately. Not the cleanest kill, but still possible.
And a tasty burrito.
Yep. Alucard's going to be a little bit behind. It'll be interesting. We didn't see any value, but there's that question that Penguinpuff will have. Do you need to dive in?
He got the powder. I think he's just missing like the big key chest. Maybe he deduced the last three items were big key, map, and compass, and he's out of here.
It's possible. If he was counting chests that we aren't counting. Raven Darkheart is so Alu isn't ahead anymore. Unfortunately not. It's kind of a close race. The only reason we said Alucard was ahead earlier is because Penguinpuff hadn't gone down to get the Cane of Samaria yet, down in Ice Rod Cave. Penguin has gone down and checked that, which is an interest. I mean, I didn't expect him to go down there so fast with all the other items he had unlocked. He did, though. He made the play, so Penguin, at this point, they're real close. A single play could go either way, so effectively, these two runners are tied.
There's just a few overworld spots that Penguinpuff hasn't checked, which I think he's going to go check now. He's going to check like Shovel Game, Jeremiah, Purple Chest, which Alucard did all that already.
At 1 hour and 10 minutes, both of these runners are just wondering where is the hookshot, and possibly where's the boots. I always look for the boots because I'm lazy and I want to get through things as quickly as possible.
Plus, you never know. I mean, Torch and Ganon's Tower, and Jeremiah, he was a bullfrog. It's a Vatasia meme.
Yeah, blame me for that one. I have the bad jokes. Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
And he turns into a blacksmith. That's your hint.
Meanwhile, Penguin going to be doing the world's longest digging game for no value.
Hey, he might want those 3 bombs. He's only has 12.
Right before time expires. I'm sure he was frustrated with that slash.
I'm pretty sure that was a 30 dig, too.
No, Batcave not checked. I don't think Hobo checked from either one. Penguin looked like he's on his way up. Might check that. Batcave. Oh, he needs Jeremiah as well. Okay.
Yeah, Alucard did all this already. So this is where Alucard had the lead. Might still have the lead because Penguinpuff's going to do all this, which Alucard did already.
I see you there, Jaden. I'm stealing that if it happens. Shout out to Jaden in chat, who's just giving all the bad pun ideas to the commentators.
So, interestingly enough, the big chest had an item. However, it was just rupees.
So Alucard doing the double dip for no value, but Penguinpuff didn't do it. So that's going to play with the back of his mind unless he finds it in go mode. If he gets to a point where he's stretching and trying to find something, we may see him double dip, which would be unfortunate. Alucard, on his way down, is he checking double chest of fairy? Because he hasn't done that yet. Or is he going to do an early Swamp Palace check?
Swamp's a gamble because you need hookshot to reach the back of Swamp. But I think he's going to go do Fat Fairy.
Yeah, Alucard didn't do Big Bomb yet, so we're going to get the double chest of fairy and Penguinpuff checking on the Batcave. That is the most anticlimactic 10 arrows I think it's been for a while.
It was so bad it made me quiver. No, nothing. All right.
That's all we got.
I'm scratching for puns here. I'm not a good pun guy.
Yep, everyone at this point is looking for hookshot, because once you have hookshot, we are effectively, possibly in go mode. We don't know if boots are going to be go mode or not, depending on Ganon's tower, but this has been a bootless seed so far, so that's perfectly fine. Hookshot is the only thing that's locking them out. They can't get into Mire without boots or hookshot. They can get into Swamp, but unfortunately, you can't finish Swamp without hookshot. The other 2 places that they need to go, Mire and Swamp Palace, other than that, they have 5 crystals, so it's really down to one of those 2 items.
It'd be really interesting if it ends up being a double dip in the Swamp. Like, you go into Swamp and you find, like, the book, and the book leads you to hookshot.
We've seen that plenty of times in this seed, too. Version 26 logic, don't care.
Alucard going to make the play for the Hobo.
Good play, because we haven't seen a Hobo check yet. Battle Kid could also, yep.
And we still haven't received the bottle yet, so we haven't checked Sick Kid yet.
That's really incredible. With all the value that we've had so far, that we don't have a bottle. At this point, as soon as you get a bottle, do you go check Sick Kid just thinking that he's trolling you?
It might be, and maybe these guys thinking they need the magic cape just to get the only bottle they've seen so far. Well, at least Penguinpuff's seen it.
Yeah, Penguinpuff has seen the bottle. It's on the floating island up there.
No, it's not. The bottle is on Bumper Cave.
Oh, Bumper Cave. Okay. I thought, wasn't there one on Floating Island as well?
I don't think so. Floating Island, I think, only had a arrow upgrade. I think Penguinpuff's going to go visit Sahasrara.
Well, that'll be interesting. We'll see if Thieves Town is going to end up being required with that green pendant.
The hookshot is given to you by Sahasrara. This is a huge lead for Penguinpuff. Alas, it's just 20 rupees.
More money.
But now he's probably going to go into Eastern Palace and take care of that, because neither one has been in there yet.
I will say this is probably the latest match I've seen for the first Eastern Palace check at an hour and 16 minutes. Usually we'll see an Eastern Palace check, sub 20 minutes at the most.
It's usually one of the first things you do because it's open to you right away, at least the first 4 or 5 chests.
Interesting to point out, Penguinpuff does also have the mushroom, but has not gone and checked to see what he can get for his drugs.
Alucard going to do his bat check as well.
Chat pointing out things like, they'd be checking Eastern Palace as soon as you were done with pod. It's hard to second guess exactly what these runners are doing from personal experience. When you have so many other things that open up so early, yes, we can think in the clarity of the moment because we don't have the pressure on us to say, I would totally check something in this order. But when you're in the heat of the moment, when you have the pressure in these sorts of races, you never really know what you're going to do. You hope that you practice enough and are able to do it, but that pressure can get to you sometimes, and you never know what you'll do.
Chat is just a bunch of backseat links over here. Mushroom was in Thieves Town.
Yep, and Alucard hasn't even checked Thieves Town yet. One of those, it's a pendant, not going to go in there. Meanwhile, Alucard looks like he might do an early Swamp Palace check. This could pay off.
If it's a vanilla hookshot or semi-vanilla hookshot, this is going to be huge for Alucard. He'll get right into go mode and be able to clear the rest of the way relatively easy.
Both of these competitors at this point are making mitigated risks. Penguin,
bottle.
Pulling a bottle.
Well, now Sick Kid's available. If Sick has been having a hookshot, that bottle was a huge find for him.
It was. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. That might be big for Penguinpuff, but we don't know. As it is with all of these fetch quests. Of course, Dark Room no longer locked, so not that we think Penguin would have any sort of problems with the Dark Rooms, considering he navigated pod Dark Rooms.
Yeah, one play that I think I've made before, but I don't know if Penguin would have thought of it, is defeat pod, and if Armos goes to the item, then go back for the last chest. Or you can go for this last chest right now and hope that you don't defeat Armos. Both ways are pretty fast. It's a gamble either way. I think this way is a little faster.
I think we've already seen the single arrow validation.
Yeah, the single arrow was in the graveyard ledge, which Penguinpuff did not pick it up, so he's on path to be disqualified. I'm joking, obviously.
Not gonna lie here even remotely. I commentated on a race earlier where the runner, they were within a minute of each other on Ganon, and the runner who won picked up the validation arrow, and it was his last arrow to kill Ganon.
Oh, wow. So literally the meme came through to life.
It really did. I was so happy.
I think in my first race, I think Zor gave me the validation arrow and I bombed him.
That's the most valuable thing you can get for 500 rupees. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I prefer the blue boomerang, but that's just me.
Yeah, boots cannot be on the pedestal, as we've mentioned before. The Desert Palace is actually locked behind boots because the big key is on the lamp.
Now, it's interesting. If you're in Penguinpuff's seat, all right, so you're about to defeat Armos. You don't have the boots yet, so you can't defeat Desert for the pedestal yet. So what's your play of this?
I don't know. I'm a fan of the early swamp check for Alucard, just because there's so much that could be in Swamp Palace. At this point, I don't know if there's any other play you can make, though, because you've checked most of the overworld locations. Has Penguinpuff done the North Hyrule route? That might make sense, but we know that there's not a ton of value there.
I think he's going to go into Desert, and he can't open the back of Desert, but if he finds a small key in the first chest, he can get the 2 chests on the right side.
Well, I mean, he certainly can open the back of and kill Landbolus if there's something there.
No, he can't, because the big key is on the torch, and he doesn't have the boots.
Oh, right, okay.
So he can't even kill Landmoles and open a pedestal with it. But he can check a few chests in here. Meanwhile, Alucard's going to have to go left side, because he can't go back without the hookshot.
Quick check from chat. Are we pretty well synced up with everything, or are we ahead or behind? I want to make sure we're not spoiling too much. We are watching a stream that's a little bit different from you guys.
I think we're fine. It's just that the chat's a little behind what we see. So, but our voice is getting to them at the same time as the screen is.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, we're used to running on Randomizer Mania usually commentating, but this is the big leagues. Fiesel knows what he's doing. Not to take anything away from the other streamers, but Fiesel's the man.
Always worth checking.
Alucard finding a bottle himself, a bottle of vanilla Mountain Dew. And Penguinpuff finding just the compass and the map. So the big chest is hiding the small key. Right? No, he found a small key. The big chest is finding one item and Landmoles has the other. So no items left. You need the boots to access the last 2 items.
Yeah, Alucard still going through, seeing what we can find. Maybe, hopefully, hookshot. There it is!
Hookshot! Oh, wow. Vanilla hookshot. Alucard now in go mode. Kinda. A 21 in 22 chance of being in go mode.
A solid percent. So Alucard, it's interesting because he's already done 4, so 3 crystal dungeons in go mode.
He's done 5.
At an hour 23.
He's done 5 crystals.
He's done 5. Okay, yeah.
After this, he just has to do Meyer, and that's it.
You'll probably check a handful of things at 21 out of 22% chance, as long as it's taking you.
Like checking for another small key. Yeah, make sure you get that. You couldn't get that without the shot before, so you need to get it now. Come on, NMG guys.
Yep, it could have been a fast seed, but both, you know what, vanilla items, you never really count on that. You always are hoping for these other items, except version 26 logic feels like, We'll see where Penguin ends up going, because if he doesn't make this gamble relatively quickly, he's going to be behind. He's already a little bit behind because he spent time in Thieves Town, which we know didn't end up paying off for him.
The mushroom. If the mushroom gives him the boots, this could not end well.
Either way, it's going to be a really close match. I'm hyped for it. Rambler, are you hyped for it?
I'm always hyped for a randomizer. You know that. It wasn't boots. Alucard, I don't know. I guess he's looking for boots just in case.
I don't know if Alucard realizes he's in go mode yet.
He has to know. He's just looking for boots just for the 100% confirmation. Plus, those 2 chests, they're not too far out of the way, so it doesn't lose too much time.
The real check will be in Meyer. Just be how long he checks to see until he gets the big key. Does he continue checking?
I don't think so.
And Sick Kid.
Sick Kid had nothing, yeah.
He could be checking for butter or armor. It's true. It's not fun doing Ganon with green mail. Absolutely. But these runners have practiced it, I'm sure, many times. Meanwhile, Penguin looks like he's doing the Swamp Palace dive. Not much else to go, so I approve.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is literally the last place he's checking. At least according to the logic. I think if he got like a potion, he could have technically defeated Spike Cave.
Ganon hugs are not the best hugs. I don't care what you say.
Speaking of armor upgrades, Argus dropping the blue mail.
That'll be nice. That means Penguin will end up getting his eggplant hat once he's able to go there. But Alucard with the lead, and he's going to get through Misery Mire pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, Alucard will not be getting the red mail this seed because it's deep in Thieves Town. He will not be entering there. He's just going to go straight to Mire and look for the big key there, and he'll pretty much be done.
Excellent race at 1 hour 26 minutes. I think it's not going to be the fastest race of the tournament, but both of these runners, we're looking at sub 2 hours in version 26.
I like this play by Alucard. He knows he only has blue mail, so he's going to go buy a blue potion just for defense for Ganon's Tower.
Oh, I completely agree. We'll see a lot of runners often be too prideful to take the 10 or 15 seconds it takes to go buy potions, especially in a high damage dungeon against Vitreous.
You have silver arrows. Vitreous is a kind of a pushover when you have silver arrows.
Can be, but it can't. You can also take quite a bit of damage from him if you end up getting hit by anything.
Fortunately, it doesn't get the bird over in time for the ether, so no bird toss. Sorry, guys.
Wah wah.
Hey, you guys want memes? I'm trying to deliver the memes to you, and Alucard's not helping.
I'm seeing Vitreous has boots. We don't know where the boots are at this point. We don't know if it's going to be required yet. At this point, the only way that boots are going to be required are going to be if the Ganon Tower Big Key is on lamp.
So when we get to that point in the question, I want everybody's going to be saying 3, because that's the torch.
I usually end up guessing torch.
On normal routing, yeah. Everybody's going to guess torch. We're not even going to bother asking the question. All right, we're still going to ask the question. Everybody's going to say torch.
No bird toss equals instant DQ. Man.
I mean,
some harsh.
I think Penguinpuff already lost it by not getting the validation arrow, but that's just me. The boots can be in Ganon's Tower. They most definitely can. If you looked at the one of the first races of the tournament from our defending champion, Ben, he had boots in chest 1, big key on the torch.
I think these guys would rather see boots in the tile room.
Yeah, power room. I was thinking that. Just get as trolly as possible. Or what really trolly is like finding the. I'm trying to think how troll. Finding the book in validation chest. Oh no, it can't be that. It could be the book in Ganon's Tower, followed by boots being book locked.
Yep, there's still some opportunity for some trolls. We'll see if it ends up coming up. Again, the only way there's going to be trolls is if that big key is on the torch. So we'll see. Alucard treating this like go mode right now.
And I don't blame him one bit. Still hasn't found a big key yet.
Nope, but he's making pretty efficient time, so it's difficult to say that he's. I mean, we wish that it was early to see him in go mode, but definitely, I'm perfectly fine with this particular play, especially a bootless seed. You know that being proficient in the boots isn't going to lead to a huge lead at this point.
Ooh, Penguin's doing the right drop first, which we know is the right play. Wait, is this the right play?
Yes, this is the right play for Penguin.
I thought so.
It's a little bit of time making up.
A few seconds, yeah. So now Penguinpuff gets his hook shot. He is now in go mode, quote unquote. Yeah, he's not even going to bother with the other chest, so he's just going straight towards the boss. He is doing 100% go mode.
Yep, he's presuming he's in go mode, which is, as we know so far, the smart play.
We'll find out on Alucard's side in about 5 minutes if that was a smart play or not.
Oh, and Penguin also forgetting the key.
They both did the same thing.
You know, when you get so excited that you're like, I'm finally in go mode. Oh my gosh!
And
You go and you forget the key.
That's hilarious. They both did the same thing.
That just shows you how relieved both of these runners were to find the hookshot. Because if it wasn't in Swamp Palace, that would have been almost the last chest there. Where do you go?
I honestly have no idea where you go if it wasn't there. Alucard still looking for this big key in Mire. And
there we go.
it.
And he's not going to check the big chest. Forget it. Go mode. Penguin also checking the other quick chests here, even though he's in go mode.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far away. The boots would be a nice find. So I don't blame him one bit. Alucard about to head downstairs, finish off Mire. Penguin about to finish off Swamp. So Penguinpuff about to enter his Argus fight. Hookshot, Tempered Sword. This is pretty easy, pretty standard for this player. Hookshot was in the left side of Swamp on the right chest. So I think I was almost right when I said the one item away from go mode, a half hour in, and an hour later will be in go mode. I think it was about 55 minutes later, so I'll take a partial victory on that. Penguinpuff getting his red mail. Alucard about to cheese his way through victories with these silver arrows. And just barely misses the 0 cycle. But still fast nonetheless.
Yep, so Alucard gets his key, and he's on his way to Ganon's Tower, while Penguinpuff will be on his way over to Misery Mire. Chat, we're on our way. What are your guesses? Get him in now. We do have a 1 in 22 chance that he's not actually in go mode. It'll be interesting to see what happens here.
And Penguinpuff, first he doesn't get the single arrow, then he kills the bird before having a chance to freeze it.
There's a reason you're behind, Penguin, and it's because you're not making the necessary sacrifices to the gaming gods here.
Watch him not over validation chest either. Ugh.
At an hour and 33, you have to wonder, both of these competitors are excited by how quick this seed is, except for how trolly Hookshot was. Both of them might be thinking they're a little bit behind because they didn't make that early call.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Rambler, what's your prediction? Where are we going to see the big key?
I think we're going to see the big key. I'm going to say Random Room, bottom left.
That's a good one. I think I'm going to go with the Firebar room this time.
That's a good room to pick.
It'll be interesting to see if Alucard goes ahead and does left side first just to check the seed. He knows he doesn't have boots. Would you check that room first instead of doing the standard right side for the couple chests and then over to the left side just in case you have to go elsewhere?
When I do the standard routing and if I find a small key on the right side, I'm doing right side first.
We've seen a lot of competitors do right side relatively early. Used to be that they do the Dark Magician strat, get the first two, and then go over to the left side. But more and more competitors are doing right side, it feels like.
disqualify the commentators from not picking Torch. Look, we hope for trolley seats, but that's a little ridiculous. Come on, guys.
Also, I can't be disqualified. I'm not in the tournament. Ha ha ha.
I'm only in the secondary, so I can't be disqualified from the main.
Alucard checking right side.
Boots.
The boots.
They're the same chest that they were in for Ben. So let's see if it's a Torch for this now. Now I'm hoping for Torch. Oh, just a small key. Rip
Still
Bob.
picking it up though.
This is the second time we've seen it in that exact chest.
And this is why we love Randomizer, because we can see this and know exactly how weird it is to see it.
Que son esos? Keen of Berna. all the items are in here.
In the book,
This is great.
all the value is in Ganon's Tower.
Quotation marks, value. Alright, boots are good.
We're going to call this Value Card 2004.
You were waiting an hour and 36 minutes to use that.
I was waiting for an hour and 36 minutes to use that.
I can't even commentate anymore. This is too funny. This shuffle, too. Is this like entrance randomizer Ganon's Tower? What is this?
Well, we'll see what else he picks up. Yeah.
I mean, Big Key should be coming soon. Oh, Magic Cave, Bombos. We still need those.
Magic Cape Bombos, Red Boom,
A second bottle. Butter Sword, you know.
Butter Sword. Still waiting on Ugnet for Spaghetti Strats.
I've never seen this many, like, Y items be in Ganon's Tower. This is crazy.
No, I've never seen it either. It's absolutely amazing, and they're all the Y items that are, I'm not going to call them useless, but situationally useful.
The items that, the reason why they went here in the first place, and bottom left of Random Room, no. But let's see what's still going to be Random Room. Nope.
Nope, no Rando Room.
So it's going to be Ice, Armos, before, or Bob's Chest, or right side. Or, there's still one more troll place for it to be. Everyone's favorite room in Ganon's Tower.
I'm just waiting for you to announce it.
I was wanting you to get the tile room. Yeah,
Tile room!
The chat knows.
You know what? I've seen Tile Room a few times. It feels like it has extra weight behind it for whatever reason.
Rip Bob. Fire Shield, because, you know, more items that are relevant to the game. Not
Riot
just,
Shield in here too?
Not just, yeah, Validation Chest, probably.
I'm Ganon, and this is my pawn shop. You never know.
Nice Summer's kill. Silver Arrows again, showing why it's so OP. Oh, we're going right side, baby.
We're going right side. Penguin can make up a lot of time if he ends up going right side first.
But
He's just on Vitreous now.
The only problem with that is that there was no small key in the first two chests, so he might not go right side necessarily.
He may not. I mean, he'd have to go over to the lamp to get that key there. Be interesting. Yep, we see a Dark Magician route would be interesting here. It would be very interesting.
But he would have to use the boots to hit the first small key in Bob's torch, and then go back to the right side, which wastes a lot of time. So I don't think he's going to make that play.
We'll see. We know that both competitors at this point probably feel like they're behind, so they're both moving pretty fast. Half Magic.
I called that one too. So
Bombos.
I'm telling you, big key. Chest number 20.
So no Tile Room.
I'm going up, but I mean, chat was going crazy with all the items that were going on, so I can't see who said number 20 in the chat.
Everything but the cape, yeah. It's possible cape, yeah.
And one of the guys in the chat said that cape had to be in a location because they secrets broke Turtle Rock. They needed cape to get Turtle Rock because both the shield and Cane of Burna were in Ganon's Tower, and you needed something to get to that chest logically.
No, true. So it's possible. I mean, Desert Palace is possible.
No, because they need boots to complete it. I'm trying to think what other items where the cape would be.
I'm having a hard time thinking. Oh, the Spike Cave, maybe?
No, because you needed Burna or...
I'm at an absolute loss about that, to be perfectly honest. Cape Hookshot Cave. Yeah, that could be it.
Yes, that could be it. That's true. Could have been Hookshot Cave, which the logic would have you to do double dip Turtle Rock, which, yeah, these guys aren't doing it. So logically, there's a double dip Turtle Rock seed, but yeah, we're not going to bother with logic. These guys know Dark Rooms. These guys know Laser Bridge Skip.
So sometimes following the logic is worthwhile, but in this case, it did not help you. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff, we'll see what his play is going to be.
He's going to get every item in the game.
That's got to be a little bit frustrating. I haven't seen any frustration slashes yet from Alucard, just seeing everything. What's your thoughts if you don't see a dot done yet for either of these players?
I mean, I guess everybody's saying, I would say, well, I guess they didn't check Swamp early either.
It's possible. Bugnet might be at pedestal. It's true.
Well, we'll see what's on pedestal once the credits roll, but it's probably just going to be like 20 rupees or a piece of heart. That's what it usually is.
Alucard clearly in the lead as he's making his way through, while Penguin's working on the left side himself.
Yeah, Penguin's still another 5 minutes away from getting the big key.
Yeah, Weirbear did point out, yeah, good one cycle there on Lane Mullis with the silver arrows. I neglected to say anything. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, silver arrow land mole's harder than it looks because the way the hitboxes work.
So the question becomes, do either of these competitors get the validation chest? I'm going to say Penguin doesn't because...
Yeah, Penguin's turned down all the validation already.
Alucard making use of Cane of Burna.
Well, he wants to make sure he has he's going to get his full magic refill anyway, so might as well.
Yep. Here we are on Troll Dorm. Troll Dorm with Butter Sword.
Yeah. Let's talk about OP items. Butter Sword, definitely. Alright, will Alucard validate? Yes or no?
He validates.
And gets a tasty burrito.
You deserve that burrito, Alucard.
OPC confirmed.
Making his way through this hell room very nicely. So no swagging him, unfortunately, but we'll see how quickly Alucard can make work of him.
See how many cycles it takes him. That was a
double.
Hit.
Oh, nicely set up.
Ooh. 1, 2.
Oh,
only 2.
One.
Only 1.
Ouch.
Oh.
Only 1 there
Very
with
close.
blue balls.
Ah, well, you got the double there or triple, and yeah. Agging him down. And Ganon does his Stone Cold impression, or his Vince McMahon impression. It was me, Link. It was me all along.
And you think I'm bad with the memes? Wow.
Well, I mean, if you gotta do one, if Phantom Ryu does one Vince McMahon impression, we should have another one involved, right? Ooh, Penguin killing the unglitched Bob.
I think Alucard did as well.
No, he didn't. He didn't kill. Well, he didn't powder it like Penguin just did.
Oh, okay. So Alucard on Ganon now. Penguinpuff struggles a little bit.
Buttersword Ganon. Yeah, this is gonna be a breeze.
Buttersword Ganon, Silver Arrows. I mean, he only has blue mail, but at this point, does that matter? But the only hope that Penguinpuff has at this point is if Alucard takes a couple falls to Ganon, and I don't see that happening.
I do not see it happening either.
Still, let's remind everyone, this race was incredibly close. The difference really was the early dive for Alucard into Swamp Palace, whereas Penguin checking things like Thieves Town and Eastern Palace to a much greater degree, clearing that out.
Ooh, that was close. Alucard almost took a fall there. Missed
Didn't
his torch
get the
glitch.
torch glitch.
He's taking his time, not trying to get doubles with the vertical angles. So slow and steady. Make sure he gets everything on correctly.
Almost get there. Oh, he got the double, and that's it.
Double. That's a GG's for Alucard2004.
GG Alucard.
We can say he officially finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 3 seconds.
We thought this stage was going to be a lot faster early on, but neither runners took the early swamp dive. If they had, this could have easily been, a sub
120 or 130. I wasn't thinking that fast, but definitely a 120 or 130 because they didn't have boots, so hard to have a seed be under 115 without the boots. We'll see if we can get Alucard in here for a quick chat.
Penguin making his way through. Penguin, of course, picking up the big key, making his way through the gauntlet now.
Yeah, Penguin probably going to finish with about a 153, so won't be super far behind, but he'll fall to 0-2 in this tournament. Alucard will be 1-1.
And here we have Alucard. Alucard, GG, congratulations on your win.
Thanks very much. Oh my goodness, this was an insane front-loaded seed.
You would not believe, we thought there was going to be a pretty big difference between you and Penguin when you dove into Ice Rod Cave early on, but there was so much value from very other places. I mean, you ended up being a lot closer because you could legitimately check other places.
Oh, wow, okay. It was like 20 minutes in or less or something, and I was thinking about going in Turtle Rock. Like, that's how crazy
the chat was rooting for you to pull that off, to go into Turtle Rock with 5 hearts, green mail, fighter sword. You would have been a legend.
Debated. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, Turtle Rock. I mean, the lamp was in there, so there was something that was useful.
I was totally thinking about checking like the first 3 chests, and I probably should have. It would have paid off. But I don't know. Going in with like 5 or 6 hearts, that sounded like a mistake to me. I felt like I would just get completely wrecked. I was hesitating to even go into like Skull Woods to like beat Mothula with, 7 or 8 hearts or something like that. And fortunately, I found some hearts along the way going up there. So I was like, I guess I gotta just do this, and it paid off with a sword upgrade too.
I don't know if you just noticed, but on your screen it said the shovel which you found in Gannis Tower would have led you to the Mirror Shield.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the big difference in this game, because both you and Penguin were very close, other than the Ice Rod Cave, you made an earlier dive into Swamp. I can't say it was early because I think at this point the only thing you hadn't done was the Pendant Dungeons, whereas Penguin went into Thieves and cleared that out. His choice to go into Thieves, whereas you went into Swamp before that, I think was the difference maker here.
I was terrified that something was going to be in Eastern or Thieves. I was absolutely terrified, but I was like, I kind of have got here this far without going in there. Why don't we just make the YOLO play? Because, I mean, like, that might be what I need to do to win this race. And, like, I got super lucky that it was actually there.
It ended up, I mean, paying off for you in the end. I mean, 147. At what point did you? It felt like it was going to be a jet seed early on. You know.
Well, I mean, we were one item away from maybe two, because boots were very questionable for a while, which was really funny.
Bombosting the validation chest. How rude.
Oh, that's cruel. That hurts my heart.
Also, Penguin found the single arrow and didn't pick it up. So yeah, he is just getting all the disqualifications. He's doing all the 3 medallions to this chest. He's bombing it. Oh wow.
He is upset with this.
And he opens it.
Well, then this was pretty close, actually. Yeah, if he's already there.
No, it was incredibly close. Like I said, the only real difference was, he has 2 pendant dungeons done that you didn't do.
Right.
So you being terrified that nothing was in Eastern Palace or Thieves Town, he went and checked there. So I think he had the same feeling. It just didn't really pay off. The only difference is he had Red Mail, which was in Thieves Town. Otherwise, it was kind of a dud.
Yeah, Thieves Town had just the mushroom and the mail upgrade, and Eastern had, I think, literally nothing.
That mail might have been nice on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, we saw you take the safety on Laser Bridge and die, like 3 or 4 times?
Yeah. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, Penguin
This Laser Bridge was pretty clean. I mean,
Penguin
we were
didn't
worried
get
about
the lasers, even without boots. It was very impressive to watch him do Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I was standing just like a pixel too low, basically, and I was just getting wrecked every time.
That's why you bombed the safety wall.
Exactly. I was like, I'm not taking any chances. I might die on Trinex. My health's super low. These lasers do 4 damage.
Yeah.
And then they knock you in the pit, and then you're dead. Basically, 5 damage.
So, talk to us a little bit. You moved to 1-1 in the tournament. Your first opponent was real rough. The rest of the tournament it's Swiss. So, do you know who you're going to be playing yet, or just kind of hoping for whatever?
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to. I don't think I know who I'm playing, because we need to see how the matches play out this weekend to really know who we're playing against. I think
there are a lot of really good players at 1-1 though.
But yeah, there's so many good players. Everyone who's in the top 100 is good at it. So like
exactly.
Anyone will be a good matchup. I look forward to it, no matter what. I mean, it's all about having fun at the end of the day. So that's what I'm all about, is making fun plays, having a good time while, in a competitive setting.
Last question for you. This version 26 logic has had a lot of things in the pendant dungeons. If you didn't dive for it, you said you were a little nervous. What made you make that call, even in this logic where we've seen so much value in the pendant dungeons?
Mostly because I had found so much to help progress me. So I kind of wanted to clean up a lot of overworld for one major reason, because I was very not confident with like my health. That's why I did a lot of overworld before going in any dungeon, is because early on we had so many items that we didn't get any hearts. So that was super rough. But then what I decided to do is, I have all these items, why don't I just clear all the dungeons that I can that are crystals? And then that paid off big time.
And Penguinpuff gets his GG done. He finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 24 seconds.
GG.
Yeah, 7-minute difference, not that much. And you'd say the difference basically was the 2 pendant dungeons.
Yeah, that's a lot of extra time, 2 extra dungeons.
Even then, with the 2 extra dungeons, I think that had Penguin just made, instead of one of those dungeons going into Swamp Palace for that check, it would have been much, much closer and right there neck and neck.
Absolutely. I got a little scared about the big key location, too. I was finding, like, all of the items that we hadn't found so far in the game. There was, like, a shovel and a blue cane and bombos.
Literally
everything.
Everything but the cape, which we actually deduced that the cape had to be, like, in Hookshot Cave or something, because the logic needed it to get that key in Laser Bridge.
Oh, true. Good point.
So,
well, I guess you could have got like, oh no, because Mirror Shield was at Dig Spot. And
Yeah,
was
it
in,
was.
Shovel was in G Tower.
So-
Good point.
the logic required you to double dip Turtle Rock for sure, even mainly because of the early lamp.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, either way, congratulations, Alucard2004. Go ahead, give Alucard a follow on Twitch if you haven't already. If you haven't, what are you doing with your life? Seriously. Also give a follow to Penguinpuff. We'll see if we can get him down here into chat directly.
Interesting enough for Alucard, you had the same number of deaths as Bonks.
That kind of makes sense. I guess we got
The big old
Boots
4.
pretty late. Yeah.
GG Laser Bridge. It wins the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got a death in Hera, but that was kind of intentional.
Yeah, you took an intentional death in Harry after you got the Moon Pearl. I saw that.
Yeah.
We have Penguinpuff up in the waiting room if we can pull him down. At pedestal for Weird Man was Arrow Upgrade.
Arrow Upgrade, yeah.
Welcome, Penguinpuff.
Hello. That was a good race. Well played.
GG, Penguinpuff.
It was fun. It was a good time.
I just want to emphasize how close it actually was. I know the time difference was not as close, but the main difference was two things. I think one, the dive into you cleared Thieves Town and Eastern Palace where Alucard didn't, and then Alucard just made a little bit earlier of a dive into Swamp Palace. I think at this point, because other than those two dungeons, there was nothing else to check. So otherwise, it was very, very close between you guys most of the time.
Well, that's good to hear. I was dreading it was that there wasn't going to be a gamble to swamp. My darkest fears realized.
I went for YOLO strats completely.
It paid off. Really. Yeah.
You got lucky.
No, it's part of the game, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we saw as soon as you guys got that hookshot, it was effectively go mode, especially for you, Penguin, because you went to that right side chest first and said, "Nope, I'm done. I'm just out."
Yeah, that was another fear of mine. If the left chest was boots and the key was on the torch, then I was going to shoot myself in the head, I think.
People were rooting for that, really.
The people were really the time was ruthless with what they wanted to happen. I mean, they wanted things that weren't possible to happen, like boots on pedestal, which it couldn't happen because you needed to complete desert. Boots complete desert.
Right.
So, guys, talk to me a little bit about this early Turtle Rock dive. I mean, both of you seem nervous. Alucard at 20 minutes looked like he at least opened it, but you both ended up having to go in there under 1 hour. Was it the logic that was pushing you there, or how nervous were you going in there?
Well, we basically got all the items for it. I think immediately. I think on Death Mountain they had half of the stuff necessary for it.
Yep.
So it was okay, the logic wants us here, but it's it. Yeah, go ahead.
Especially when you find you had to fire rod in the first chat, very early on, the ice rod in Death Mountain. You're and King Samaria early, well.
I was. If I had the cane, I think I would have done it immediately, but I didn't have it.
Yeah,
we were gonna say we were actually really concerned about your Penguin because Alucard made an early ice rod cave check, so he had it at sub 20 minutes, and we were like, okay, 5 hearts, green mail, ice turtle rock check. So people were rooting for him to go in there. He didn't ultimately go in there, so he went in there about the same time. You could have high-fived at some point.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I opened it up just to debate chat. That was the only.
They fell for it hard too because they were going. PogChamps were going crazy in chat. And they're like, he's doing it, and they're like, and then they started yelling at you when you didn't go in.
I'm sure. I was like, I'm just gonna die here over and over with 5 or 6 hearts or whatever I had. So I was like, this can't be worth it. Yeah, in fact, it kind of was. It would have saved me a lot of time to at least check the first few chests.
Yeah, you would have not had to do dark rooms at all.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for Dark Room Mire. I forgot I didn't have boots or hookshot, so I was beelining straight to Mire.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
I kept wanting to do Mire, and I was like, oh wait, I can't do this.
Oh no, GG to both of these competitors. Alucard2004 with the win, moving to 1-1. Penguinpuff, unfortunately, moving to 0-2. Still lots of rando to go. Let's take a quick look at the schedule for the rest of the night. Starting at, let's see,
Starting in 20 minutes on this channel.
20 minutes on this channel, we have Lava and Firestorm versus the Tiger. We don't quite know who's going to be.
It's actually going to be, I think it's going to be a four-way race between Lava and Firestorm versus L Tiger and MMX Base, also known as, what's his real name? You know Alucard. He's one of the developers of the game. Carcat,
yeah.
And he's facing Prior 57. That will, I think it's going to be a four-way race starting here in about 20 minutes. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be
you
here.
have the wonderful Ninnies and Willard commenting that race, so you get to get rid of the B team here and get the top dogs.
Let's promote ourselves to at least A- or B+. I think
A- team, yeah.
no, B+.
I'm sure you guys did a great job. Thank you guys for commentating too.
I mean, Vitasia was stretching for his cross-product puns, but you know,
If I have to stretch for anything, I'm going to do it for the puns. I mean,
you're not going to do it for
here's how we
exercising. I know that.
Meanwhile, over here, it looks like we have on Randomizer Mania here in an hour, we have Tater versus Sailor Jade on Randomizer Mania original. The original Ridley Dragon and Maniacal going to be giving you the call there. Great matchup on the secondary schedules too. Yeah. So plenty of randomizer here if you're interested and love this as much as we do.
But also at 10 o'clock, Jet 82 versus Dragon Master 283 on Speed Gaming 4, and at 11 o'clock, Swerve versus Farami over on Speed Gaming 3. So all night tonight, you're going to have lots of Zelda randomizer. At midnight, you got 3 races going on, looks like, including 2 races. Looks like another 4-way race here on Speed Gaming 2. Izzy on Final Form versus Kyle, and Kevin Cabarello versus Files.
And because I see it on the schedule, I'm going to give this a shout out. Lots of stuff going on tomorrow on Speed Gaming. Most notably, if I can, the ACM LM versus Chiyura at noon on, it does not have a channel yet, but the man, the myth, the legend, Phantom Ryu is back. We'll be doing a call there at noon with the ACM LM race. So please, we all mimic him. He's the original. Please, let's see that there.
That's why I decided to do the other Vince McMahon line over his Vince McMahon line. And I was talking with people about, I did the impression the first time, but I don't want to take it away from him. So someone gave me the idea of doing the Ganon coming out of the bag of them thing. So that's what I'm going to roll with.
That's fair.
It was me, Austin.
All right. Any final comments from Alucard, Penguinpuff, our wonderful racers? Please, again, give them a follow. Do you guys have any other comments or concerns, queries, anecdotes, updates from this race?
Not too much. Just good luck, Penguinpuff. The dream is still alive, man. Keep the good fight.
I'm just looking for one win. Like, my first randomizer was like a week before qualifiers, so I'm just going for one. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Also, I just want to do 2 quick shout-outs. Shout out to Ace Face and the P Wimblers, and also shout out to Chat Kappa Pride.
And thank you guys for commentating, and keep watching more of the awesome randos, guys. Still got 10 weeks of this. You'll definitely hear from myself and Vitasia again in the future, whether it be here on Speed Gaming or over on Randomizer Mania. You'll hear Alucard a lot because he's one of the best when it comes to commentating.
Yep, we aspire to be as good as Alucard. All hail, sir.
Please, I'm sure you guys.
If you want to talk A+ teams, that's A+ right there.
Either way, thank you so much for everyone here at Speed Gaming. My name is Vitasia.
I'm NY Rambler.
Thank you so much for commenting, and we will see you later.